Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Toku Portal podcast. I'm Rai, and also with me is.
Dedicate,
King?
and today we're talking about Uchuu Sentai KyuuRanger, episode 22. So, first we get a lucky recap. The Rangers seem pretty optimistic right now because they just revived the Argo ship and got another badass Ranger, even though he's not necessarily with them. He's still on their side. Um, but they're a bit curious about Otori Tsurugi. Spada suggests they ask Eris about him, that sprite lady. And then so they queue at the chance, and Balance and Champ get assigned to go ask her. Them to find Tsurugi, unaware that Tsurugi's behind him outside the window of the bridge as Ho soldier. Raptor freaks out, and then we get the opening. Uh, before I move on, in the actual opening, we already get scenes of Otori Tsurugi and Ho Soldier, so they didn't get left out at all. I know in other Sentais sometimes they take a while to add that stuff in, but right off the bat, we had that and it was pretty nice. Thoughts?
I'm glad they added him in right off the bat, too. Nice that we don't have to worry about that. I didn't exactly appreciate the fact that he was banging on Uncle Orion, but okay, it was still a cute gag. I didn't think that the KyuuRanger suits were actually built in space suits, but now that they kind of referenced it a little bit. I like that they're, need to sound like a broken record, but I like that they're touching on that. Kind of reminds me of Falze. And I'm glad that they're adding Eris back in because she added in like the with the Orion thing when she first came. I like that they're bringing her back so she has a little bit more relevance, I guess. And yeah, I mean, it was a good start.
So, Tsurugi just appearing outside the window when they're just being like, alright, well, we should just go find him and talk to him, is probably the perfect way to bring him into this episode. It exemplifies the kind of silly behavior that they tried giving him in the last episode, and I just love it. Like, how did he get up there, and why is he just outside their window?
Because he's bored.
Yeah, apparently they don't have any other entrance or way of communicating. Um, so, yeah, after the opening, he enters the bridge. And then we get the episode title, Space 22, The True Identity of the Legendary Savior. The Rangers ask him several questions, but he just replies that he's a legend and to read about him in a history book if they want to know more. But Kotaro has never heard of him, despite being an Earthling as well. Tsurugi is shocked, so he recalls his legend as the first Earthling to visit outer space, and the first to find a Kyutama, and the first president of the Space Federation. And he still looks like a pretty young guy, so he must have been pretty smart and awesome. And of course, Naga shouts that his story is unbelievable. However, he's been asleep for about 300 years. Tsurugi's also surprised to hear that Don Armage is still eating dark matter. However, he doesn't elaborate for now. He kind of keeps to himself. Thoughts so far?
I'm with Naga on this one. It's kind of hard to believe. Like you said, he looks really freaking young. So the fact that he's able to do all that so fast, he's a tough guy. Don't get me wrong, but he's no Napoleon. Let's be honest. Um, plus 300 years. Wondering how he's been in that. So at least they touched on that. But freaking certain they didn't have exactly means in order to leave the orbit 300 years ago, but that's probably just me, and I probably shouldn't question Sentai at this point because it ain't worth it. Um, I like that they touched a little bit on him knowing Banamage, and I was curious at first how he knew him, so I'm thankful that they touched on that later, but, like, shoot. That's for later, so.
Naga just like immediately calling Tsurugi's story bullshit was just unexpected for me. Yeah, he kept calling like Sholampo stuff like out on Shol. He kept calling Sholampo out on his stuff, but the way he did it here is like he just showed emotion, and I think he's just so tired of dealing with Sholampo's stuff that he doesn't want to have another person that he cannot believe. And yeah, I'm actually interested in learning more about this Donna Margate thing and what's going on with that.
Yeah, it definitely is a good way to make this arc much more interesting. It's not just, oh, here's another member, try to get along. Already we have a whole another layer to his story, so it's going to be interesting. So basically, he tells the Rangers that their job is over and to leave the rest up to him. That reviving him is achievement enough, and they should be content with it. But Lucky protests, but Sholimpo appears to give in and sends his assistant, Raptor, and cook, Spada, to aid him. Tsurugi is glad and refers to Raptor as a beautiful assistant. She immediately has a delusion of her in professional clothes assisting a professionally dressed Tsurugi with glasses. But at the same time, she's actually listening to what he's saying. Basically, he wants her to find a Dark Matter education center. She immediately locates Dark Matter College there on Earth. He takes off with his beautiful assistant and chef in tow. And finally, Sholampo reveals that he's kind of planning something, basically just spying on Tsurugi. Thoughts?
Okay. When he basically refers to her as a beautiful assistant, oh man, the daydream I will admit was kind of cute. And of course, so with Luca voice acting, it's certainly a nice touch. But I'm thinking what show's planning is, and this is just a theory, that he's sort of sending them in same way he did staying with Jack Matter, as a sort of undercover sort of thing, help them out, see what you can find out their motives are, stuff like that. And for however much he is strong, I don't really see how he thinks he can take on a whole freaking organization. Like, we've established time and time again that these guys are not playing around. They've conquered God knows how many planets and pretty much every system. So, one guy against all that, I don't really see how you can believe that's possible. Now I understand. Strength-wise, you're probably a little better than some of them, but surely not more than all of them.
I think I have to give Sholampo credit for his quick thinking there. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna handle it? Great. Hey, have an assistant and a chef go with you. That was actually a great way to get two KyuuRangers to actually, like, be out there with him. I don't think it was so much as spying on him as it was, like, they will be there to be with him when he starts fighting so that they can show him, like, hey, we can fight too. And as for him thinking that he can take on Darkmatter by himself, if his story checks out, he's already done that. So why should he think anything's changed?
300 years is a while in order to, grow ranks, have better technology. So,
Based on his introduction last episode, I wouldn't really feel like too much has changed either.
okay, fair enough. But they probably conquered a lot in 300 years, so he'd have probably at least double the work.
Yeah, I'm sure eventually he'll face a tough opponent, but for now he's just stomping over everyone. So Stinger reports that the Moraimazu. Oh no! Sorry, jumped ahead. Um, so on Earth, not a single person recognizes Tsurugi. He's pretty certain that dark matter has rewritten history. So we cut to the college where the governor Manabiru says that they will rewrite history as dark matters. So he begins teaching that Don Aramage is the true savior, but he's interrupted by Tsurugi, and it's revealed that he's on a blacklist. So clearly, dark matter knows who he is. So Tsurugi star changes into Hoa Soldier and attacks the governor. The other two join in after noticing how similar the governor looks to a previous governor, the one that had the people do all those silly exercises and the Rangers had to learn how to dance and stuff. Yeah, that one.
Is that who that was? Because I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
They just reused the suit, so.
Pretty much recolored, added some stuff. So Tsurugi finds it ridiculous that they're fighting when they're more suited to being an assistant and a chef. Manabiru hits Spada with his History Mana Beam and writes that attacks against him will hit Otori Tsurugi instead. So right away Spada blasts at him, but they're directed toward Tsurugi. He ends his transformation after... basically the governor retreats, and he ends his transformation, and Nagagaro, Lucky Hami, and Kotaro arrive. So yeah, thoughts so far?
Okay, it was around here that his shine from being a new guy and being this really strong warrior really started off, because he knows that there are innocents at risk here. He knows that if he doesn't take out Jack Matter, at least in the facility, people are going to get hurt, as I've said. But he only cares about taking care of somebody who messes with himself. I will admit it is a good character flaw, so, especially considering his one-man show kind of thing. I was not happy with how he treated Spot and Raptor, but for emotional reasons, of course. So I like that they kind of addressed that it's a reused suit, like the budget thing. So that was cute, I guess. And I think that when they referenced that Tsurugi's on the blacklist, at the very top, no less, I think that was sort of a good reference to why Don Amage wanted the Earth destroyedness, because that would essentially make him Tsurugi's number one rival, basically. So maybe that's sort of like eliminate the competition, eliminate the planet, and authority on one. But that's just me.
So first off, yeah, he was being a bit of an asshole when he's like, yeah, who cares about the Morai Mazu? I need to go deal with the monster. But he wasn't entirely wrong. You have a huge number of people. Split up the group. One group goes and takes care of the Morai Mazu. The other group goes and chases down the commander. He didn't make a very good argument towards it, but he wasn't entirely wrong in his line of thinking. I'm kind of disappointed that they're already reusing suits for this series. I get it, budget saving and stuff like that. But other series usually take a bit longer, don't they? Or is this the usual time?
I'd say around
Well,
this time is when they start.
yeah, but at the same time, I'm kind of okay with it because this episode was more focused on the backstory, and pretty much next episode we're moving on to new bad guys. So they kind
Yeah.
of just said, "All right, we'll do one one suit
Yeah, I'm not
for
that
sci-fi."
upset about this one because no matter who the monster of the week would have been, I'd already would have forgotten them.
Yeah.
I'm just worried because I don't want to see this turn into what happened with KyuuRanger.
They're better with their repaint suits than X-Aid. Because
God.
let's be honest,
Oh.
those guys use them on a regular basis.
Here's an idea. Let's just have 10 monster suits for the entire series.
Oh boy.
See? Six Rangers already got a lamp.
Yeah.
I think that's all I really had to say.
Okay. So yeah, we jumped ahead a bit. Stinger reports that the Moraimazu nearby is going to explode from high planesium pressure and to shut off the valve. Tsurugi seems unconcerned with the lives of the humans there. However, he does let Hami borrow the Hercules, Kyutama, which he was kind of showing off at the end of last episode. And he takes off with Raptor. She timidly protests that she can fight, and she's been doing so this whole time. But Tsurugi backs her against a wall and tells her to be quiet before inching extremely close to her face. But he's just listening to, I guess, the machinery inside of her head. Spada arrives and is infuriated when he assumes that they were kissing, because that's pretty much what it looked like from his angle. So, for everyone who saw the Henshin lesson, it pretty much confirms that Spada has feelings for Raptor as well, which is pretty great. Thoughts?
It's finally canon! Yay! I know later on he's gonna say that he only reacted the way he did for parental reasons, like he sees her as a sister or something. Yeah, sure. But I thought it was kind of clever how Tsurugi was listening for a malfunction, because he knew she was attacked earlier on. So I like that he was listening out for that, despite obviously earlier, but start for him. I like, probably getting ahead of myself a little bit, but how now Spada's really defending Raptor in her point of view, because, well, we'll get to that later, but I did like that we touched on the Hercules Kyutama again. I'm liking that's actually being addressed instead of just another throwaway. But I guess we'll have to wait and see before it's official.
I've been complaining for the past few weeks that Raptor has a crush on Spada that they've done nothing with, and now we finally get something. It's great, actually. Spada just freaks out when he thinks that Raptor is kissing someone else. I actually hope that they just give us more like that. And this whole episode kind of shows that they can write characters well. So my question is, why haven't you been? Why did you introduce so many characters early on that you weren't actually going to use anyways? Other than that, the idea that he was the one that built Raptor is like, how much credit are we gonna give this guy? Like, how important are we making him out to be? Is it gonna end up that he was like the founder of the original Dark Matter Rebellion or whatever? Because that's what it's looking like so far. and I'm kind of not feeling it.
True, but he did seem to have some background in technology. They did find that science laboratory.
I'm not
Counted
saying
something.
I'm not saying he shouldn't be involved. I'm just saying like just how much credit are we going to give to him?
Yeah, I mean, he could be boasting a little too big for his britches, but I mean, there's got
Yeah,
to be
I'm sure.
something to him.
I'm
Uh,
sure he had some help from Orion.
I'm not saying like he can't like have something that he did. I'm just saying I don't want it to end up being like, oh, he did everything.
Fair
No, no,
enough.
I don't think it's gonna be like that. But yeah, that would be bad. Um, so let's see. Yeah, the sortie team finds the Moraimazu, uh, but Kotaro notices that they're outside of the Otoritsurugi science laboratory. Cut back to Tsurugi. He remarks that Raptor's been pretty reckless lately, but that her maintenance is complete. He reveals that she's just an upgraded version of the androids he designed long ago, but that she's not a combat version and she really shouldn't be fighting. He states that a chef fighting is ridiculous as well. So we cut back to the sortie team. Gato and Hami head for the valve, while the others handle dark matter. Tsurugi's baffled at how dysfunctional their team appears to him, and he pretty much insults every single one of them. Spada snaps, but before he can argue, Tsurugi forcefully grabs him, saving his life from an incoming blast. He's certain that they're too weak for Don Armage, but the two fight anyways because they're chosen by the Q-Tamas. Tsurugi agrees to fight beside them, 3-star change, and roll call. Thoughts?
There was one thing I forgot to touch on earlier. I know Stinger's used very sparingly in this, which is a good thing considering we've had a lot of him the past few weeks, but I feel like there's been a subtle change with him. Like, I know we saw him being a little socially awkward, but he seems a bit more calmed down, I guess. A little bit, uh, more
Cooperative.
interactive, let's call it. Yeah, exactly. Like, he's helping them. He's the one that informs them about the consumer thing. I thought that was a nice touch. Like I said earlier, I like how Spada's actually defending Raptor now. I felt like that, while subtle, yes, was a sort of full circle thing for him. Because, like, when Raptor first got her Kyutama, before all that, um, she was basically being told that she could never achieve her dreams. Spada was just, I know Spada had good intentions, but she was basically being negatively informed to never get into a fight and that sort of thing. And now, when Tsurugi's doing the exact same thing, just because of the way she's built, Spada's defending her. So, again, while subtle, it was a nice full circle touch. And I like how, they while they're fighting, they say that we may look like a dysfunctional group to you, but that makes us a dysfunctional family nonetheless. We were chosen by the Kyutama, and you can't do anything about that, whether you like it or not. And again, to get ahead of myself a little bit, I like how you want to be a legend so much, you want to you want to make your history known. It's our history that we fought as KyuuRangers. You can't change that, and I want you to remember that. So, I thought that was a really good moment for them.
Yeah, you pretty much said everything. This was a moment that was going to happen in this episode. There's not much else to say. Uh, I do like that Stinger's information that I gathered from when he was supposed to be a spy has actually come into play at some point, which is, oh yeah, Donna Margay is totally still alive. What are you talking about with that he's dead?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Garu's unable to move the valve. Hami uses the Hercules Q-Tama to gain massive muscles, which obliterate her jacket, and she stops the valve. Lucky and the others defeat dark matter. Tsurugi is impressed by Raptor in combat, but Spada's attacks um, are still redirected towards Tsurugi. So they kind of work together by fighting close range to Manabiru and pretty much kick his ass. But before defeating him, Tsurugi asks how Don Armage is alive. But the governor has no idea what he's talking about when he says that he should be dead. So, yeah, basically they defeat him, but he turns giant. The Morai Mazu transforms as well. Tsurugi decides to show the Rangers the Argo ship's true power as a reward. The Argo ship arrives, it fires several missiles before transforming into three parts: Ho Base, Voyager, and Station. Uh, Base and Voyager emerge from a mountain. Tsurugi takes off into space on the Ho Voyager and docks into the Ho Station, which is floating in orbit, forming Gigant Ho before landing back on Earth. And his epic insert song plays. Just is so awesome. I seriously love it. Uh, he uses Gigant Ho Blazing, which sets both of his swords on fire to defeat the Robo. And then he uses Ho Station to bind the governor, and uses Gigant Fire Break while in the Voyager to pretty much just impale the governor and recombine with Station as the governor explodes behind him. Holy shit, this has to be one of the most badass mechs I've seen in a while. It is awesome. Thoughts?
So far, the best KyuuRanger Megazord fight yet. I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. Return of the Gokai Galleon! I was so happy about that. I was worried that the Argo was just gonna be like a throwaway vessel thing. No, oh my god. I was kind of confused a little bit, not by like how he did it, like the motif. You know, like most of the different Zords so far have been animal vehicle hybrids, but then I realized, wait a minute, Phoenix, Rocket, duh. I like how it was sort of literally like a rocket launch. Like the base shoots off a Voyager into the freaking satellite in space. I thought that was so awesome. His swords going on fire was incredible. It was just all around an incredible fight. I loved it so much. Although I'm kind of upset that Hammy tore it a little. I'm sure they're gonna another one.
Yeah, this is definitely a good mech. I hope that it really doesn't get toned down too much in the future when they need to start rebalancing the fights. Like, it's got some good gear. I hope that they just keep on going with that. Other than that, yeah, I had the same thoughts as like, oh hey, the Gokai Gallon. That's pretty much all there is to say because King said most of it.
Yeah, even the the background music that was playing while the whole the three parts are getting set up, and then he takes off into space. That was like super epic. I loved it. So yeah, back on the Oriongo, the Rangers are still curious about Tsurugi's story, but Lucky's more concerned with defeating Jark better. Back on Earth, Tsurugi reveals to Spada and Raptor that he defeated Don Armage with his own hands before going into cold sleep. And he's curious as to how he's alive now. So we cut to this dark planet. Hologram Don Armage welcomes 3 vice shoguns. So yeah, shit's getting real. So far we've had governors and chief retainers, but now we're getting vice shoguns. And episode end. But I might as well go on to the ending because that's pretty awesome. So basically, the ending song this time is recorded with a bunch of extras and the singer of the ending song, also the singer of the Gokaiger opening. I didn't get his name down, but yeah, and everyone's it's like a Japanese festival rendition of the song, and everyone's dressed up and stuff. Pretty awesome. I know King loved it.
You're not wrong. I loved it so much. It was so freaking adorable. But I'm gonna hold back because I do have something to say about Tsurugi. Because I'm really curious as to how they're gonna do his backstory. Because if he actually killed Don Armage, then what is going on with that sort of thing? Like, what Stinger said basically was, if what he says is true, then Jack Matter actually has the power to rewrite history. I think that only reiterates their kind of power of the universe, but like they haven't done that enough already. I like that they're stepping it up, because obviously we've proven that chief retainers aren't enough to take these guys down. We need to hit the big guns now. Obviously the Shogun isn't going to get his hands dirty yet, but I'm really curious as to how these vice shoguns are going to play. And it also proves that they still have aces up their sleeve too, beyond just their normal dirty tricks. Because if you recall, Raptors never mentioned anything about vice shoguns. Like when they first introduced the pyramid of the Jack Matter line, they never said anything about vice shoguns. It was monsters of the week, generals, main bad guy. They never had the vice shoguns. So
I think
I'm
they
curious
might
as to how
have
that's.
at the top of the
Sorry.
pyramid. But go ahead.
No, go ahead, son.
No, I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure it was the grunts, the governors, chief retainers, and then the tiny bit at the top was the vice shoguns. I don't remember how many there are. I think could have been like 8 or something like that. I don't remember. But go on.
Um, yeah, good point. I'll have to look at that again. But I was just saying it might be a nice little trick that they still have aces up their sleeves too. So, I mean, I'm curious about that. But again, I freaking adored the ending dance so much.
Yeah, the three shoguns thing is definitely like Dark Matter stepping up their game. I do like to have their tying the new member introduction into the new villain introduction here. That's always a good way to go about it. You're really like just setting up the next arc. Other than that, I didn't really watch the ending theme because I usually skip those. But from what I caught of it, it was like, yeah, this one looks like it's like really well done actually.
They had Manchiello do the leading of the dance too. He looked really cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the alien getup and everything.
Uh,
But yeah, that's pretty much
yeah.
it for the episode. Any other thoughts?
Mm,
I like this new character. I just wish that characters that were established at the start of the series were getting this much like attention to them, because we really don't know anything about Spada other than a little bit about his personality. Well, we barely know anything about Hame. Like, yeah, it's just upsetting that new characters are getting more attention than ones that should have already been defined.
we've got 7 months. We've got time.
Yeah, I agree, but I do feel like, especially with Spada this episode that they will kind of tone it down on the new characters and kind of develop the existing ones. I mean, originally the whole Raptor becoming a Ranger arc was Spada being the overprotective one and saying, "No, you shouldn't fight. You weren't built for it." And now he's totally defending her and the other Rangers. So yeah, he's definitely had a lot of development. Yeah, and Zero just said Spada has a big family and Hami grew up in a ninja village, but that's still not a whole lot.
Better than nothing.
Yeah, true. That is true. And I think they will develop some characters more.
Tsurugi's gonna have to grow on me a little bit more because again, for emotional reasons, he's very going against a couple of. Let's just say he's gonna take a while for him to grow on me, so here's hoping. And I'm really excited for next week to see what they do with him.
All right, then. That's it for this week. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. See ya.
Later, taters.